What is up, everybody? Welcome to the episode today. Gonna get things set up and we'll be ready to go. I decided to start later, so I don't have to delay a lot of time for the rankings. So we're starting a bit later, just so not have much time to go into rankings and go back to the episode. I'm gonna start with college football just so we could get back to lead up into the rankings, and then the rest of that episode will go as regular as usual. Hope everyone's day is going well. My day is going well. Crazy to think we are at episode 100. Welcome to the podcast. You're starting momentarily. Oh yeah, and big rant coming with this week's episode. When we get to MLB part. Because there's something that, I wish I didn't have to rant, but this is something I really need to rant on, and it's just upsetting, and I'm pissed off, and just so many other words. Okay. Alright. Now that is set up, let's get last thing set, and we will be ready to go. Hold on. False alarm. Now we're good. Alright, here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Benny and the Booth podcast. On this week's episode, we've got college football week 10 recap with the second college football playoff rankings reaction coming in the next few minutes. We've got NFL week 9 recap and week 10 predictions. We've got the World Series wrap up between 4 and 5 and awards finalists with a rant and predictions towards the awards that are going to be announced next week starting this coming Monday. Let's get right into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 100 of Benny and the Booth podcast. Thank you so much for the support to this point. I very much do appreciate it. It is crazy to say we have gone to 100 episodes of this podcast at this point. I cannot believe that is something I'm saying at the moment. It's just crazy. And I thank you for all the support, truly, to even have gone to this point. And I hope that I've delivered in the best way possible for you guys to enjoy this podcast. So let's get right into college football week 10 recap to lead into the rankings that are going to be starting within the next few minutes. If there's still stuff I could go over before the rankings come out, I'll go into it. But at least let's get the college football part out of the way, just so that's the easiest part. In college football week 10, there are a few notes actually this week. Number 22, Oklahoma State upset number 9, Oklahoma 27-24. And what might be the last Bedlam Series game, which that's what the rivalry is called, because Oklahoma is going to the SEC with Texas next year. Interesting to see how that will affect this rivalry game. Clemson upset number 15 Notre Dame 31-23. Notre Dame just keeps falling by the day. Arizona upsets number 19 UCLA 27-10. Army upsets recently newly ranked to number 25 Air Force, which is kind of sad because these Army, Navy, and Air Force are hardly ever ranked. And the fact, or in the CFP, I should say. And the fact that we had one even for 1 week of rankings is something, though I have a feeling they're probably going to drop out this week because of the upset, 23-3, because Army is not good this year. And Bama's kicker, Will Riker, has been one of their best kickers in a long time. Reached 500 career points as a kicker, which is most by a kicker in college football history. Congrats to Will Riker, and congrats to Bama to actually having a good kicker. Let's get into awards because while we're waiting, or award finalists with rant and predictions, while we're waiting for CFP rankings to start because they have not yet. Let's get right into awards. So I'm going to start on the ones that don't have the rant, and I'll end off with the one that has the rant. So award finalists came out last night. I'm going to go over them. I'm going to give you my predictions for each, and of course, rant on the one that deserves the rant, sadly. Anyways, a few notes that did happen also this week. Stephen Vogt, a former catcher for the A's and a whole bunch of other teams, is becoming the Guardians' next manager. Carlos Mendoza is a former bench coach for the Yankees, is now the Mets' new manager. And biggest bombshell of the week, which I posted an immediate reaction to. And if you haven't watched it, go check it out on my YouTube Shorts on the channel. Craig Counsell is replacing David Ross as the Cubs manager for next year, which I'm still processing that move right now still. It's just crazy. And that came out of nowhere, which is really what makes it as mind-blowing as this. Anyway, so how the awards are going to be revealed. Monday, we've got Rookie of the Year, both AL and NL. Tuesday is going to be Manager of the Year, AL, NL. Wednesday is going to be Cy Young Award. And Thursday is going to be MVP. Just so you know. AL Rookie of the Year candidates, Tanner Bibby, starting pitcher for Cleveland. Tristan Casas, first baseman for the Boston Red Sox. And Gunnar Henderson, shortstop / third baseman for the Baltimore Orioles. All three are valid candidates, but at the end of the day, I mean, this is the easiest. This is one of the easier choices here. Gunnar Henderson, he had a ridiculous rookie year, and I don't think anyone's going to beat him out for it. I've got Gunnar Henderson being AL Rookie of the Year. AL Rookie of the Year, Corbin Carroll, the Arizona Diamondbacks, big part of their World Series run. Kodai Singh, a starting pitcher for the New York Mets, came from Japan and dominated this year. And James Outman, outfielder for the Dodgers, who I think was just really like let's throw in a random good rookie from the. He just had a really dominant rookie season, and I don't see any of the other two being. I think it did pitch well this year, but I think Carroll was better. So that's Rookie of the Year. No ranting yet. Far from it. AL Manager of the Year, which is going to be on Tuesday. Bruce Bochy of the Texas Rangers, who just won the World Series. Brandon Hyde of the Baltimore Orioles, who made the playoffs for the first time since 2016 and won the division, which first time since 2014. And Kevin Cash of the Rays, who I think was really just a random throw-in for Manager of the Year. If I making a prediction, and this is like kind of hard to go because like, do you go with the guy who just led Texas to its first ever World Series, or do you go with a hunter with the Orioles? And I was kind of torn, and like Cubs biasy, I could go high, who used to be with Cubs, but I think it is going to go to Bruce Bochy leading the Rangers to their first World Series, even though they did have a rough September. I think Bochy's going to win AL Manager of the Year. NL Manager of the Year, Craig Counsell, formerly of Milwaukee Brewers and Miami Marlins. I think this is going to Skip Schumacher, who led Marlins back into the playoffs. And even though they spanked the playoffs in the Wild Card Series, I think he is deserving and will win NL Manager of the Year. AL Cy Young Award finalists. This will be on Wednesday announced. Garrett Cole of the New York Yankees, very dominant year this year. Sonny Gray of the Minnesota Twins, very good year this year. And Kevin Gausman, starting pitcher for the Blue Jays, all have great years. But to be honest, really, the winner is going to be Garrett Cole. He had a way dominant year, and I don't think either two are going to beat him out. NL Cy Young Award winners or finalists, I'm going to come back to because that is where my rant is at. And then MVP. AL MVP nominees make sense. Shohei Ohtani of the Angels. Do I really need to explain Shohei Ohtani's season? I mean, he was injured. That's all, I guess, needs to be explained. But do I really? Not really. Spoiler. Corey Seager, shortstop for the Texas Rangers, really good year and big part of their postseason run. And Marcus Semien, second baseman for the Texas Rangers. Here's the thing: like injury could be a major factor in this award because Seager missed a lot of time, Ohtani missed time and missed a lot at the end of the season because of injury, and Semien I think almost played 162 games. I think because Seager at least got to play in the end of the year, it was a big part of the playoff run. That's gonna go to Seager. But I could see it going to Ohtani. I think it's really a coin flip. But in my view, because of one played through and even with injury in the middle, whereas Ohtani, where one missed a whole from like a good amount of August and on, kind of similar to Yelich versus Bellinger in 2019. I'm going to give this to Corey Seager, but I can see either or winning. And LMVP, Ronald Acuna Jr., the Braves, 40-70 season. Need I say more? Mookie Betts, right fielder, second baseman for the LA Dodgers. Very good year, but more in the second half kicked it off. And Freddie Freeman of the first baseman of the LA Dodgers, pretty good year, but I think Ronald Acuna 40-70 is going to beat out Betts and Freeman because I don't think we're going to ever see a 40-70 ever again in our lifetime. Now for NL Cy Young Award, and this is sadly where my rant comes in, and we still got another minute or so before CFP comes out, or it's like about to start. So here's the thing: there are 3 nominees they give out, and there's 3 supposed to be nominees that should be the nominees for this award. Sadly, only one of those supposed to be 3 are actual finalists, and they basically said who won the award without saying who won the award. Finalists are Sonny Gray, starting pitcher for the San Diego Padres, absolutely deserves it, absolutely a candidate, and absolutely deserves it. Great year. Zach Allen of the Arizona Diamondbacks, great year, but compared to who was left out, not deserving. And the worst of them all, the worst, is Logan Webb of the San Francisco Giants, who had a pretty good year, but not Cy Young candidate worthy. Hello? Where's Spencer Strider, who won 20 games? Where's Justin Steele, who's practically Cy Steele nicknamed for some people? Strider and Steele, where are they? They were literally left out. How do you leave those 2 out? They have pretty much said that the winner is Blake Snell without saying that the winner is Blake Snell. I'm sorry, MLB fudged up. And it pisses me off. And a whole bunch of other people pissed off probably because it too, but it's mind-blowing that they mess it up that bad. And usually when they mess things up, it's like one or two categories, and within those categories, it's only 1 or 2 people that shouldn't be there. Not 2 within 1 category. I'm sorry, MLB, you fudged up, and if Blake Snell doesn't win the NL Cy Young Award, you really fudged up. We'll see if MLB makes up for it. But yeah, that's my rant in the finalists of the award. But Blake Snell, I have winning the award, and I don't think it's going to be close. And I'll even put it this way. I wouldn't be surprised if Strider and Steele get more votes than the other 2 finalists that ended up being the finalists. And that wouldn't be a first time. I don't know, we'll see what happens. But our ranking is about to be in, so we'll finish with the rest once the rankings part is done. I'm not so sure going into these rankings if the top is going to change. I think it's going to be more bottom and middle of the pack that change because of certain results. But I'm not so sure if the top 4 are going to change. Maybe Ohio State is number 1 this week, but they won this week pretty dominant, 35-16. They didn't cover, but they won over Rutgers. None of the top 4 teams lost, so I wouldn't imagine the top 4 is going to change. But then again, I don't know, we'll see. I don't know anything until they start announcing the rankings. Oh, yeah, and by the way, I didn't do an immediate reaction to Game 5 of the World Series because there's so much notes I have from just Game 5 alone. That was like, there's no way I could put a YouTube short. Like, it would take 5 YouTube shorts up, and it's not worth my time to put up 5 YouTube shorts on just 1 game. So I was just like, I'm scratching the immediate reaction to Game 5 and just going to do it with the podcast today. Man, oh man. Washington came close to losing this week versus USC, so that could be interesting to see if they maybe change. No. Bama also struggled against LSU, but won. Georgia had a bit of a struggle with Missouri, but won. I guess maybe they could, but I doubt it. Because also Florida State won. First time Oklahoma State's won consecutive home games versus Oklahoma since 1930 and 1932. Good for Oklahoma State. I'm pretty sure both were upsets. I don't know. I would have to look back in rankings from last time they beat Oklahoma at home. That stat just popped up, by the way, on the ranking show. That's how I know that. And by the way, rankings are going to be the same way as last week, going down on up from 25 all the way to 1. So it's on until the final rankings before the actual full game start that they'll go top 4, top 6, top 6 from 1 to 6, and then reveal the rest from 25 on up. Okay, number 25 is Kansas State, falling from 23. Number 24 is North Carolina, not ranked last week. Number 23 is Tulane, moving up from 24. Number 22 is Iowa, moving up as they weren't ranked last week. And number 21 is Arizona State, not ranked, which I'm assuming that means Air Force is probably not ranked after their loss, which is sad. Kansas State almost beat, I think it was Texas, but fell short. Come on. Keep moving. Here we go. Number 20 is Notre Dame, falling from 15. Damn. LSU now 19, falling from 14. Number 18, Utah staying at 18. Number 17, Oklahoma, falling 8 spots from 9. And 16 is Kansas, moving up from 21. Now, Ohio State win over Notre Dame is not looking as much of a favorable win for Ohio State anymore. Because Notre Dame just keeps on falling on its face. And Clemson's a tough loss because, Clemson's falling on their face this year. Number 15 is Oklahoma State, moving up 7 spots. From 22. Missouri at 14, falling down from 12. Tennessee moving up to 13, moving up from 17. Number 12 is Oregon State, moving up from 16. And number 11 is Louisville, moving up from 13. Now we get into the top 10. We're only going to reveal the top 10 through 7 at first, and that goes slowly. And then we'll get into the top 6. That's how this ranking show goes. Number 10, moving up from 11, is Penn State. Interesting. I think they play Michigan this week. So they could really go up or down depending on what happens in the Michigan game. Ohio State plays Michigan State this weekend. Number 9. Well, that's a big blow to LSU's. Their quarterback got injured. I'm not sure if he's out for the year or not. Number 9, moving up from 10, is Ole Miss. Interesting. I think their one loss might just be Bama. Yeah, would have been Bama. Who is number 8? Alabama staying at number 8. Interesting. Not moving up after the LSU game. And then again, you could say it was closer than maybe you would have wanted it to be, but interesting. Staying at number 8. To cap off the top 7. Or 10 through 7. Not top 7. Is Texas staying at 7. So now we know 7 through 25. The question is, so no one's fallen out of the top 6, I believe, from last week. The question is, did anyone change within the top 6? Let me confirm that. Yeah. So no one's fallen out of the top 6. The question is, did the top 6 change at all? And we're about to find out. So Oregon, Washington still have a shot. Those are the teams just out of the CFP at the moment. Going into tonight's rankings. Barring a flip. No. Here we go. The top 6. At number 6 is still Oregon. Not moving up or down. Okay. Does anything within the top 5 change? Which I can't imagine anything does. But blow me away. Nope. Number 5 is Washington still. The 5 through 20, 6 and 5 stay the same. Question is, does anything change in the top 6? Even 8, you really say nothing's changed, possibly. Is number 4 still Florida State? Florida is still Florida State. Question is, does anything change between Georgia, Michigan, and Ohio State? Which the Michigan case is kind of even crazier because apparently there's sign stealing even within Michigan State and Ohio State. I don't know. There's a whole mess now with that. Number 3 is still Michigan. So that hasn't changed. Yep, 3 has stayed the same. The question is 2 and 1 changed or is 2 and 1 the same? Two and 1 stay the same. Georgia is 2, which means Ohio State is 1. So nothing within the top 8 changes this week. Very interesting. That is the rankings. All right, let's dive into the World Series recap. So where we left off was Texas had 2 games to 1 series lead going into games 4 and 5. Game 4, they took care of business 11-7, putting up 5 run second and 5 run third, leading to a 3-1 series lead. Arizona trying to make her comeback, but not completely successful. And in Game 5, Zach Gallen, Jonah Heim, RBI single with error on Alec Thomas was the dagger as Rangers win their first ever World Series, 11-0 on the road in the postseason, which is a record. Bochy now has 4 rings, 3 with the Giants, joining Joe Torre from all of his wins with the Yankees, 96, 98, 99, 2000 with the Yankees. And Walter Alston, who have 3 from 1955, 1959, 1963, and 1965, or 4, I should say, all with the Yankees. And also with others who have more than 3, as in Joe McCarthy, who have 7 total, 32, 36, 39, 41, 43. Casey Stengel, 7 total, 49 through 53, 56, and 58. Connie Mack, who has 5 total, 1910 through 1911, 1913, 1929, and 1930 to do so, and has won 15 of 16 postseason series in his career. Will Smith has now been a part of the last 3 World Series winning teams, Braves, Astros, and Rangers. No player has ever done so in North American sports. So not even just in MLB, but not in NBA, not in NHL, and not even NFL. First in any of the 4. No team had ever won the World Series after having no hit runs and no hits through 6 innings. Gallen was dealing on this night, and then some buckled his shoes. Texas is the second team to win a World Series 2 years after losing 100 games all-time, joining 1914 Boston, now Atlanta Braves, and 1969 New York Mets. Corey Seager, who had hit 286, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 6 runs, and his first shortstop ever to hit 3 homers in a World Series, won 4 World Series MVP, and his 4th player ever to win 2 World Series MVPs, as he won in 2020 with the Dodgers as well, joining Sandy Koufax, who did in 63 and 65 with the Dodgers, Bob Gibson, who did in 64 and 67 with the Cardinals, and Reggie Jackson / Mr. October, who did in 1973 with the A's and 1977 with the Yankees, as he and Seager are the only position players to do so. Ketel Marte postseason hit streak ended at 20 as he went 0 for 2 with 3 walks and a strikeout looking to end the World Series. 2022-2023 is the first time that 2 teams in the same state won back-to-back World Series since 1955-1966 between the Dodgers back when they were in Brooklyn and the New York Yankees. That is it for the World Series. The Texas Rangers have finally won a World Series. Congrats to them. Well-deserved. With how much heartbreak they've had over the years, they really deserved this, and congrats to them. Well-deserved. Enjoy the championship. I mean, the Cubs, when they won at 16, wasn't their first, but I know that feeling of like so many years of pain, so many years of just being on the doorstep and falling short and finally getting it. Congrats to Texas. Well-deserved. But Arizona, you got a lot to look up at for the future because you got a very good team that just buckled their shoes with runners in scoring position in the World Series. A lot of positives to look back for. So, yeah. Now, NFL Week 9 recap, which before we get into the actual rankings, or the actual games recap, there's one note I found out about Sunday. That Saturday / Shabbos, I only found out about this Sunday through NFL Red Zone, marked the 20th anniversary of NFL Network that started November 4th of 2003. And November 4th, 2023 was 20th anniversary. Congrats to NFL Network for lasting 20 years. I've been on and off kind of watching Network more Red Zone in more recent years, but nice for them. Not many notes from this week, but two notes I found from this week. With 2016 win over the Titans, Kenny Pickett now has 7 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime, which is second most over the last 2 years. Kirk Cousins ahead of him with 8. Cleveland Browns shut out the Arizona Cardinals 27-0 for first shutout since December 16th of 2007 versus Bills in a blizzard, with only allowing 58 total yards. It's the fewest Arizona has had this year in a game, and now Cleveland has 3 of the 4 fewest net yards allowed in a game, along with for defenses this year, along with only 94 versus the Titans and 142 against the Bengals from this year. And the San Francisco 49ers have the only other one with 150 only given up to the New York Giants. The Cleveland defense also held Arizona to 17 passing yards, 58 total yards, 1 for 12 on third downs, 7 sacks, and 3 turnovers. It was just utter domination. Clayton was just bad. Predictions this week, I went 11-3, and overall in predictions, I'm 82-54. Standings update: Dolphins in first place, 6-3. They lost to the Chiefs in Germany, close, but in the end, just fell short. Sorry about that. Followed by the Bills at 5-4, followed by the 4-4 Jets, followed by the 2-7 Patriots. In the AFC North, the Ravens in first place, 7-2, followed by the 5-3 Steelers, followed by the 5 Steelers, Browns, and Bengals. All 4, by the way, going into this coming week, are in the playoffs. If the playoffs were today in the AFC. In the AFC South, the Jaguars in first place at 6-2, followed by the 4-4 Texans, followed by the 4-5 Colts, followed by the 3-5 Titans. In the AFC West, the Chiefs in first place at 7-2, followed by the 4-4 Chargers, followed by the 4-5 Raiders, followed by the 3-5 Broncos. That's for the AFC. For the NFC, Eagles in first place at 8-1, followed by the 5-3 Cowboys. The Eagles beat the Cowboys, by the way, by the skin of their teeth, which was a crazy game. I caught the end of it. Commanders followed by the Commanders at 4-5, followed by the Giants at 2-7, who have lost Danny Dimes for the year. So their situation's even more messed up and not good. NFC North, Lions in first place at 6-2, followed by the 5-4 Vikings, followed by the 3-5 Packers, followed by the 2-7 Bears. NFC South, Falcons in first place at 5-4, followed by the 4-5 Buccaneers, followed by the 3-5 Saints, followed by the 1-7 Panthers. And then the NFC West, 49ers back in first place at 5-3, followed by the 5-3 Seahawks. Seattle's also 5-3, but San Francisco has the tiebreaker, followed by the 3-6 Rams, followed by the 1-8 Cardinals. And then Week 10 predictions: Bears and Panthers at Bears Thursday Night Football. All primetime games this week are trash, by the way. I have the Bears winning. Sunday, Colts at Patriots. I have the Colts. Texans at Bengals. I have the Bengals. Saints at Vikings. I have the Vikings. Packers at Steelers, which will probably not be much of a game. I guess maybe it could be something. I don't know. I have the Steelers. Titans at Buccaneers. I have the Titans. Niners at Jaguars. I have the Niners bouncing back. Browns at Ravens. No matter how much of me wants to think the Browns will win, for prediction's sake and non-bias sake, I am going to pick the Ravens. If I'm wrong, I will be happily wrong. Hopefully it's at least a close game. But honestly, what hope is on my side for this game is the fact that we have been splitting on and off with the Ravens for the last few years in the regular season series. Falcons at Bengals. I have the Falcons. Lions at... Wait a minute. I just realized a typo. Falcons are either Texans or Falcons are not playing the Bengals this week. I don't know how that happened. The Falcons are playing the Cardinals, which I have Atlanta winning. Sorry about that. Detroit at the Chargers. I have the Lions. Giants at Cowboys, I have the Cowboys. Commanders at Seahawks, I have the Seahawks. Sunday Night Football being Jets at Raiders, I have the Jets. And Monday Night Football being Broncos at Bills, I have the Bills. That is this week's episode of the podcast. Let's wrap things up. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Betting Booth Podcast. On next week's episode, which I still have to figure out when I'm going to put it out, I've got MLB week. I've got awards, rookie of the year winners. I've got NFL Week 10 recap with Week 11 predictions, college football Week 11 recap with the third college football playoff ranking, depending on when I put out the episode. Thank you so much for watching, listening. If you are new on YouTube, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, leave a case bell, so notify when I go live and or post a new video. If you are new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, hit the notification bell, so notify when I post on there. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I will see you next week's episode 101. Bye-bye.